Hello guys, this is Matteo Sato, and today I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of my new signature plugin. It's the archetype Matteo Sato by Neuro DSP. So first things first, I'd like to talk a little bit of the signal chain. So when it comes to this plugin situation, I just plug my guitar straight up into my interface, which is the Apollo by Universal Audio. And one thing that's really important to mention is regarding the input level. So as you can see here, my guitar is connected into the analog one, the first channel, and I set up the gain structure, the level, the input level at the very lowest. It's super low. I don't add much gain, so I can rely all the gain structure on the plugin itself. Alright, so let's go and take a look on the plugin now. In terms of amps, we have 3 amps here, and I'm just gonna be talking what is what. So the very first amp is the pink amp, and this guy right here was based on the Matchless DC30, and I believe this was based on the second channel, the one that has the cut knob, which is really amazing. I love the Matchless DC30. It's a very good amp. It goes really nice with pedals, and it has nice headroom, and it breaks up really nicely as well. And the second amp is the brown amp, and this guy here is based on the Mesa Boogie Lone Star. And that was probably the biggest surprise to me, because I've never played this amp in my life, and this was all Neuro's guys' suggestions. I was a little skeptical in the beginning, but since the fact that Andy Timmons plays this amp all the time, and he's a big reference in terms of tone for me, so I just went with it, and yeah, they were right. This amp is phenomenal, and I use this guy here mainly for more like saturation, breakup, edge sounds, and I love this option here with the thick and thicker mode, because it goes really nice with strats and tellies, and yeah, it fits my sound really well. Thanks Nero for the suggestion. And the third amp is based on the Bogner Shiva 20th anniversary. This guy right here is definitely one of my favorite amps ever, and of course this amp is very versatile and also has one of my favorite lead sounds ever. And I think Neuro did such an amazing job with this guy, because it's based on the second channel, which is the more distorted kind of sound, and it's just amazing. The way how it cuts through the mix for the solos and lead stuff is just amazing. I really like this third amp, the Geisha amp. Yes, so the pedals, compressor was not my suggestion. That was all Neuro's, and in the process of making this archetype, I kind of wanted to add more like effects kind of stuff, but they were just positive about how important it is to have a compressor. So if I'm not wrong, I feel like this compressor was based on the Diamond compressor, and it sounds very amazing. It's easy to use, 4 knobs, and just straight up. And I love this EQ knob here because it adds a little color. And the first overdrive is a blend of 2 overdrives. So this section right here is based on the Protein by Brown amplification, and the mid boost knob is a blend with the Gen Ray by Vamarin. So it's kind of like a 2 pedals in one, and these 2 pedals, the Protein and the Genre are my favorite pedals, overdrive pedals ever, and Nero did such an amazing job combining these two. This guy right here, Overdrive 2, is based on the 1981 DRV, which is, I would say, it's like a rat on steroids, because it has like a larger range in terms of, you know, the cut knob, and has a little bit more gain, I would say. And I love this pedal just by itself, but also when it stacks with this first overdrive. And the mod pedal is a combination of the tremolo that comes from the Flint by Strymon. The chorus and vibrato are based on this pedal by this Greek company called Jam, and the pedal's called the Waterfall. It's really amazing. And yeah, now we're going to the effects section, and the echo is a tape delay, and it's probably one of my favorite sounds. I love this effect. You know, I use the Echoplex a lot, so this reminds me a lot of that kind of sound. You know, it's very warm. I love it. And the reverb, as you can see right here, you have two options, the hall and the plate. And in live situations, I use two reverbs. One is the Flint reverb by Strymon, and the other one I like for you know, more like wet stuff. It's actually by this company called New Neighbor, and the pedal's called Wet. And Nero ended up adding these two options for my archetype, and it's just phenomenal. I love the way how this both options sound. Alright, enough talking, let's start messing around with some sounds. Starting with my clean sound, this is what I normally go for. Yeah, so I'm using the pink amp on this, and as you notice, it's actually not like a full clean sound. Most of my clean sounds are not 100% clean, and so let me take out all the effects that I have on this so you can hear from the beginning. So yeah, this is just the sound, just the amp itself. And yeah, so right now I'm using the pink amp and the Geisha cabinet. This is one of the coolest things of the archetypes in general and all the Nero plugins. You can actually like mess around with different sort of cabinets and stuff, and I've been digging a lot of this combination lately. The pink amp with the Geisha cabinet, somehow it has more headroom and stuff. So the mics are pretty simple, Dynamic 57 and the Ribbon 121. I think I used that combination in 99% of my presets and my sounds. And in this situation right here, I blended the ribbon a little lower and the dynamic 57 a little louder, so I can have more like the highs on. And yeah, so I add a little bit of compression, force overdrive as well, so it gives a little more body. I just love the way this sounds, man. It's just really good. And now with a little bit of delay, and reverb. Really nice. Oh, this is another thing too. You can mess around with the delays. This is just a regular quarter note. Yeah, this is a cool thing too. And yeah, let's add more options here. So this is in case if you want to add more, you know, drive. Anyways, this is my clean sound. Moving on now to my crunch sort of tone. As I mentioned before, I normally use the brown amp, and it sounds like this. And again, it's kind of similar with the previous sound, but I feel like this amp, especially using this sort of option, adds a little bit of that low end that I like a lot. I wrote another preset here called Angry and Chunky. Kind of adds more, even more, you know, it's more aggressive. Anyways, so yeah, again, taking the compressor and the overdrives, that's the sound. A lot of low end, and then adding more compressor and the overdrive. Actually, let me add more effects too. So yeah, it adds that kind of, chewy tone that I really love. And I feel like this brown amp with the Geisha cabinet provides a really nice combination for this kind of crunchy sounds. Alright, last but not least, let's take a listen to the distortion Geisha amp tone. So yeah, as you can see, I use pedals all the time, but this is just the sound of the amp itself. Adding this pedal just, I feel like the way it cuts through the mix, it gets a little more, I don't know, I just feel like it's a little cleaner, even though it adds more gang, but it's so cool. And I wrote this preset with the name That Nuno Thing because I kind of stole this from Nuno Betancourt, because he always mentions about having the Rat pedal alongside his Marshall amp, so he adds this sort of color. So anyways, yeah, this is how I normally set up my Geisha amp, my lead sounds. And again, dynamic 57, ribbon 1-1, pretty basic, standard. Let me see if I can play with other preset and see if it's, oh, this one is a little different, has the ribbon and condenser. Let's see how it sounds. Cool, yeah. So yeah, it's kind of the same vibe, but yeah, so this is what I like the most about the Shiva and the Geisha amp. It's just crazy sound, a good throwback to the 80s. I hope you liked this video and the sounds that I came up with. I know I'm not the most appropriate person to make this kind of review, But my intention here was just to show you the sounds behind my archetype and the way I normally mess around with it. Another thing, you have until tomorrow to get this plugin with 30% off. So don't miss the chance. If you really like this plugin, the time is now. See you later.